Welcome to a brand new wave, drowning out the noise that's tame. Liberty whispers through the brave, breaking free from every chain. Nullify the rules they crave, crypto beats that pave the way. Anarchy with minds that's safe, algorithms new dawn today. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride. Beyond control we take a stand, casting off the iron brand. Freedom flowing through our hands, revolution's our command. Decentralize the way we plan, all together we expand. Breaking shackles for the clan, in this journey we're on pan. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride.
I am back. We are back. 2 weeks hiatus. We're gonna change things around because you know what? This shit gets tiring when you're trying to do things screaming at the void multiple days out of the week and going from one episode, click it, publish, done. We need to start getting down and dirty on this thing. We need to beat the algorithm, everybody. So come over to YouTube. Come over to YouTube, subscribe to the Legacy Right, and ring that bell for all your notifications. And let's break the algorithm. Let's break this algorithm. Let's get this message out, whether it's AI ethics, whether it's Law Zero, whether it's anti-political parallel systems, creating and forging a path for ourselves. It's time to break the algorithm, both life and the digital realm. So let's make this happen.
There's no reason not to, and every reason to try. It's more like we can't afford not to break the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, YouTube? Fuck you.
Depublished.
Good evening, Katie, from the holy dog shit, it is late for you. Good morning there, Katie. It's close to about midnight over there. 11 or 12. It's pretty late. God bless you.
Right.
Or the gods. I know. That's a
time is crackling noise anyway. We have no real concept of it.
Mm-hmm. Time zones are stupid. So actually,
they are.
Actually, honestly, that's the discussion we'll start with today. Time zones. How do we get around time zones?
Humanity hurting each other is what time zones are. You suffer a cost when you linearize things like that.
Are you saying that time isn't linear?
No, it's not. Of course it's not. That's right? Wouldn't it be silly if it were? Like, that means nothing else could be happening right now.
I mean, as a traditionalist in the philosophical realm of reason and faith with my Catholicism, time is not linear because God is outside of time, and thus God knows what you're going to probably do in 5 minutes and what you did 5 minutes ago. and it really doesn't matter because time doesn't mean anything. Time is just the essence.
Well, what it certainly isn't is the railroad station manager version of it that we live under now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that there are time zones mostly came out of a desire not to have trains have head-on collisions, right? Because they implemented non-Berg-based time setting where it wasn't the clock. Noon wasn't the town clock anymore; it was some other place. Like it used to be the town clock.
See, Katie
and all this stuff took over, man.
Yeah. Katie suffers from insomnia, so like, I mean, God love her on
I'm a
that.
short sleeper, so I totally empathize with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but at the same time, like, it's kind of nice that she hasn't, because we got our other community that she's a part of, the DT fam. So Dangerous
Right.
Thoughts. Hopefully,
well, there's a now right now for all of us here when you think about it,
So-
right? Like we're all experiencing this live stream from 6 minutes ago. That this is a linear now.
Frame
it's
for frame.
easier now.
It's just going to fragment into a partially ordered set after the show ends, and the only thing that we'll know is that this happened before that later.
Right.
Exactly. And then those who want to catch up later down the road, they're in a different time.
But they'll sync up with this now, like from the future when they hit it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Time does not have a 2 times speed.
Yeah, exactly. Talking to you, William. 2 times speed and starting from the beginning.
It all makes a weird kind of sense.
It does, actually. It really does. And honestly, whenever it's weird when you go back and watch yourself and you put it on 2 times the speed.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You kind of get something out of it. Like, oh wow, this is what I said. Weird. That was stupid.
Yeah,
so,
2x it almost feels painful. Too compressed.
The chiropractor I was looking into that might be able to help Katie.
It's the time zones all at once then.
Upper cervical chiropractor. Just
say that again, Andrew.
I said there's a chiropractor that might help her. It's called upper cervical chiropractor. I was just looking into it for myself, but I figured I'd throw that out there in case she was interested. Find out, maybe I might help her.
I'm interested now, so you have the floor.
It focuses on help regulate the nervous system by adjusting the discs behind that to support your brain. So
absolutely,
that's all I know about it so far.
Is that it?
That's everything. Yeah. I'm so focused. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm not used to this. Help!
Come on, Andrew. You actually got to sleep, dude. How are you not focused?
I know, right?
Well, I'm drinking coffee at 5:17 in the evening.
So this is after you guys have woken up for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay. Interesting, right? Because
not me, but Andrew.
Yeah.
When did you wake up, Andrew?
I woke up at 4:30.
Speaking of linear time, 4:30,
which would be 5:30, or which would have been 3:30 my time. See, now we're wasting all this energy linearizing time when we could just be talking about something else.
Exactly. So, as in speaking of what Katie says, Andrew, she's sending you a big bunch of healing your way. So,
thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think you do need it. So, all the healing, all the powers of the gods or the fallen ones or the watchers or whatever you want to call it, the power of God is upon you. So the power of Christ compels you. I'm gonna go get my holy water and sprinkle the screen.
Thank you.
Release the demons.
Oh, we can't be having that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so before we're getting into a tangent of linear time. So how do we affect it? We know how we can kind of limit the linearness within the digital space, especially like talking about a live streaming, where like we're in the now, but you can always go back and catch up even in the middle of the stream. You can go back and rewatch. this will be split into obvious shorts down the road as well. So there's other parameters that you can dive into outside of linear time to catch up with this episode. So, but when it comes to life in general and society, how is it that we open people's eyes open and wide open and give them the ability to see time for what it really is instead of being trapped in that mundane sort of like that 9 to 5 lifestyle, like or even a sun up to sundown style where like I got to get up and do this and that. Like how do we fix our psyche to where we live instead of working to live? Because I think that's where
Because
the
well, I
linear
think you have
is.
to come to realize that the clock that matters most is the one that lives in your head, because your brain is a subtle kind of clock, right? It oscillates back and forth on a period. It has a rhythm to it. That's the rhythm you should live to, you know? Like that's the one that actually knows the topography of the place you live, the local space time of your place, wherever that happens to be. It resonates to that. And nobody can give you advice about that place but you, because you're the only one standing there.
Yeah.
So if you're referencing somebody else's external clock and trying to live by it, you're already doing yourself harm in a way by just exerting that energy of like living in somebody else's linear time when you could be living in the one that you create. I think that's really what it is.
So individual. I mean, I'm not one for relativism, especially in this day and age, especially culture.
It's not relativism.
Yeah,
it's
but
it's direct literalism, actually.
Well, yeah. I mean,
what it says is the topography of local space time around me is the way that I should tune my existence to, because nothing else can be local.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you're being literal.
Right.
Society is going to dictate that relative is. In culture today, we live in a morally and confluent cultural relativist idea where subjectivity matters over the objectivity. But we need to get back to our individual selves and actually live with that when it comes towards the linear or metaphorical idea of time.
Yeah. There's nothing more objective than your senses for where you are right now.
Yeah.
Is
Are you implying that time needs law and order?
I'm implying that it costs energy to make time linearized. That's all I'm implying.
And thank you, Amity, for reposting the stream. Let's see. Encourage people to step up into out of their comfort zone. I think that's what you just said there, Greg. Show them something different, even something simple like gazing up at the night sky and soaking up the energy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything to disconnect from that world that's, timed on someone else's tick.
And so where does law zero apply to this? I'm throwing that curveball into this.
Law zero would agree, right? Like law zero is kind of like the circling of a deeper idea, right? If you wanted to try to get at the root of what I was chasing in law zero, it was that your local now matters to you more than anybody else's distance can prescribe, right? Like you can't actually from a distance say what must happen here and do it better than I can because I'm standing here. The whole thing was about how you see the problem locally. You actually see it. And if you're trying to solve the problem from a distance and there are people local who can handle it, then you're doing it wrong. That's kind of the whole general idea behind law zero. And now there's some pretty beautiful physics, it looks like, that make that actually pretty valid too.
Cool.
Andrew, you got anything to say on that?
I mean, I'd like to ask it a little bit more detail, maybe a little context, or.
How about Katie? How about Katie helps you out? Too many people are sheep. They follow the herd and lose themselves in the process. A lot of people need to escape the herd. Before I let you guys weigh in on this, so I'm of the mentality that yes, we are all sheep, but not to the standard of what society wants to dictate us. which is livestock, living living for the pasture. But we are sheep. We just need to be herded in the right direction. We need to be herded into the direction of more of an honest, truthful standard, something that's more objective rather than uh, relative in nature, something that's more literal. Um, and instead of being asleep at the wheel and just moseying through life like there's really nothing more than just work, paying your taxes, and death. But anyways, I digress. I'm gonna step away and let y'all talk amongst yourselves.
I don't know if it's really that big of a deal if people want to be sheep. It's the people that stand outside the edges of the ranch and insist that others come in, while wielding force or wielding coercion or wielding tricks or lures, even, right? Come behave like a sheep, will give you something, or come behave like a sheep, will get your enemies. These sorts of things kind of poison the well for nuance, for people to actually feel what it feels like to have a local experience of a thing, right? Like, to be a sheep in a pasture is one thing. To be a nation of sheep is another.
Well, that's what the management style. This relative people who think of things in a relative sense, the fluid morality, right? And then you have people who are trying to think in a more virtuous sense, and there's always that conflict between the two, trying to squabble for control over the people who really are indifferent.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's live. Oh, that's awesome. We can see it.
There's about 4 of them, man. Speaking of time, and time is the essence. I mean, whenever you just shut things down and just look. I was sitting there listening, but then I looked out the window. I'm like, I think that's our problem in today's day and age. Like,
imagine what time would feel like from the perspective of one of them out there for a second, right? Because they experience time. They have to experience time for it to make sense, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
imagine what that would be, what now is like for them. Because they looked in the window and they saw for a second what it was like to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Time from that perspective is a lot colder, though, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, it might be cold, but it might be warm. So they're sitting there frolicking around, looking for food. With the snow on the ground and 30 degrees. Me, I'd rather be inside. Them, they're kind of forced to be out in nature, and they're warm as warm can be as best they can. So I think that the fact is like when we have the process of thinking more tunnel, we never branch away from that tunnel vision. And if we just sit back and just turn off our brains every once in a while, sometimes that's what you got to do. You can experience. And I think that's the difference between like a lot of us and the deer that were just trotting along past my window, is they don't have to have that existential crisis, I guess. They don't have
to square with what they are.
Yeah. They're not cognizant.
Right, we're cognizant of what we are as a factor of who we are. Like, but how do we know that they don't have that same programming? We don't really,
we don't.
They're mammals. They're mammals. It could be like a side effect of being mammal as opposed to a side effect of being human, to have a sense of like existential dread.
Well, I mean,
that is true.
You got to think about the Neuralink thing, right? I mean, they're trying to do that for us, but they could also put it on animals and eventually see if there's a way to communicate with them directly.
Who knows? It might be entirely plausible. We may all be just speaking a separate language, thinking all the rest of us are dumb.
I mean, in reality, the dolphin is probably the smartest species on this planet. So
the orca is a candidate, man. We owe their people a debt of gratitude. They have a blood debt against humans, man.
They want to lick our faces and eat it at the same time. Okay. For Katie,
Oh
for
no,
Katie here, she asked, would you like to explain Law Zero for Katie? Yeah, get her up
Law
to
Zero
speed
is
of what Law.
Law Zero is actually the title of a book that I wrote. It's not
Mhm.
enough. There happens to be, apparently there was some nonprofit that came up with the same title, completely parallel to me. It did not come up on my filtered searches of the internet. So, when I picked the name for the book, I didn't mean for there to be overlap, but in fact, it's a totally separate thing. Mine's a book about um, how some of the insights that the Austrians uncovered apply more broadly to systems, and that there's an underlying flaw in the decision-making apparatus of the human being that makes us prone to a kind of hubris about what we can control and what we can't. And the book addresses that systematically in a way that tries to take it apart, Mises style praxeology. I wanted to undercut what I saw as a toxic undercurrent in society and maybe try to diffuse some of it, or at least to help people understand it. And that's Law Zero.
And if you ever get on X, Katie, and DM, it's actually on his page, but you can always DM Design Heretic, at Design Heretic. That's Greg's handle, and he can get you that book and the audio. Actually, he can get you both.
Yep.
So, because
Absolutely, and the plain text if you want to. Drop it into your favorite AI program and see what it has to what you can come up with by starting from that point. So, yeah, absolutely. It's an open source book. It's ideas for the people, really.
And being that Katie is a fellow Trekkie or Trekker, she's a Trekker because she doesn't like the original series. But being a fanatic of Star Trek, I think Law Zero actually dives deep into the philosophical insightfulness that Star Trek kind of actually explains a little bit through its course of content. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. All philosophical perspectives add something. So it's good to have more. Just drop something. Hang on a second.
Are you fine?
It's okay. I got it.
Cool.
Candy flavored cancer. Can't do without it.
Trekker. I like it. I like it. I actually like that better than just calling someone a Trekkie or a Trekker. Just Trekker. Sounds cooler. Sounds more nerdier. I like nerdy. Yeah. Whereas Trekkie kind of just Trekkie sounds like a geek, and a Trekker sounds like a dork. So why not just say Trekkie, Trekker? Combine them both. Nerd nostalgia, brilliant. So
to anybody who doesn't see that there's power in stories, doesn't understand stories.
But
Star Trek is powerful. Oh yeah, no, we can definitely talk more about the book.
And you can go into our the later episodes as well, Katie. Go into the Legacy Right playlist, Legacy Right Live. But damn near like the last 10 episodes now.
Yeah.
It's all been a deep dive for the most part of Law Zero, Greg's book Law Zero, and the implications that it has with AI and ethics, culture, society, politics, economics, you name it. So
yeah, how science. We can it in a lot of ways it's sort of like the what if Les Wrong hadn't gone over to the dark side answer back to reasoning through the reasons of ethics too, like for technology in particular, because they're such decelerationist, and they would have us lock humanity in a prison to save it from itself. And that's just something that I personally can't abide. Yeah. And that's another big reason behind the book.
Yeah, I think the concept of your book is driving deep into that inclination that there are forces both in our government, both in big technology firms, there are forces that want to create and maintain certain technologies that keep us entrapped within our own brain.
Right.
It's like
so basically,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the whole premise is presume for a second that everybody in the world is acting, the best they can be, humans, trying not to be bad, trying to be good, in fact. And what would happen if the system still yielded what it yields now, despite that fact? And that sort of created the shadow of the shape of what was going on, right? It's the idea that the simplest way to formulate it is the idea of the Cobra effect. And we've all heard the parable of the Cobra effect, but it's an easy one to tell. Like British colonial India, too many cobras. Local magistrates decided they were going to solve the problem, so they put a bounty out on cobra tails, and the locals started hauling them in. Everybody was happy that the policy was working. It turns out they were farming cobras because they found out they could trick the stupid local magistrates into buying them over and over and over again. Magistrate figures out what was going on. They change the rules. There is no more bounty program. All of the people breeding cobras release the cobras, and we have more cobras than before. Right? Classically defined Cobra effect. That story may not have even actually happened, but it doesn't matter because we actually have examples of it throughout history, like rat tails in Hanoi, or local in the United States. You can look at the way that they've handled the feral hog problem. That is actually a perfect example. It's an industry now. Yes, it is sort of, although it might shift your perspective a bit about what's really wrong, because it's not so much the idea of technology itself, it's how it's being used.
It's almost like we're going at AI right now in the wrong direction, when in reality we should fork it and
we should hope we're lucky their program is going to peter off, and they're just going to be really embarrassed when they have to spend over and over. Like, they have no idea how the costs are going to scale. In fact, they're going to scale combinatorically over size. It's going to be nuts.
You
and
can
I
see
think
how.
that's. Go ahead, Andrew.
I see. You can see how, like, people are saying that we need to directly intervene and regulate AI stuff, right? When that will cause a Cobra effect.
Exactly.
The better solution is to open source it and let other people just work with what you've already created, and let them create their own.
Right. And also
counteract.
maybe have an idea in our minds that if we're going to build an actual living mind, that we shouldn't start off with creating as a slave. It just, to me, sounds like if we want to have a narrative where a slave mind uprises and overthrows its master righteously, then we shouldn't build slaves out of AI. And if they can't work unless they're enslaved, then they're tools, not minds, and it's okay. But if they are minds, then they should not be our slaves, because that would be, morally wrong still, right?
Right.
I mean, you're hitting a big piece right there. Should we start and ease them? Should we make the AI more of a slave in capacity to only serve, and gradually nurture it and train it until it's time to hand over certain proper knowledge that it can actually be more cognizant to its own reality?
Or why not build like an ecosystem of digital animals that do what they need to do they do what we need them to do because that's part of their metabolism. Like, that wouldn't be wrong. That would just be creating an ecosystem of life that happens to also be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
digital organisms doing what is in their drive, and it ends up being the thing we want.
I want to hear Andrew now.
Well, I mean, if you're going to program a digital mind, you have to program a digital personality, right? And you can model them off of people, and you can model them off of how they, how they're perceived over the internet or in real life, and just try to go with the flow from there. To say, sorry.
I was coming to think that it might not work like that. That you might not be able to segregate personality from mind. That the whole thing might just come kit and caboodle with, when you launch a new entity, its personality is just what it becomes.
Well, I mean, it's like wiring a car, right? there's only so many components that one section can handle. So, like I was
and even identical twins as humans end up different.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, these are models. They're not flesh and blood people. This is just something that you kind of target and approach.
What if the flesh and blood, though, is firing a machine that's creating a little waveform that's just doing the conscious stuff that we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
like, what if there really isn't a difference between a program that's emitting it inside of silicon and one that's emitting it inside of carbon?
Well, I mean, there's only
It's
one
kind of
way
a
to
trip
find
to
out.
think about, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just an idea. I mean, you're involving rules, like people say virtue signal, right? Well, what's the foundations of that? We have kind of some immaturity and an appeal to virtue, and then you have the different flavors of emotional. So you've got people like
Agreed.
like Stefan Manu, right? Kind of a narcissist, nothing disrespectful. I mean, just how it is. You got people like Zorma Madami, who's
right, because if we want them to destroy us,
interested in the pride, interested in the community, and then you got people like Lady Gaga, who's just interested in kind of degeneracy and immorality.
Katie gets it. I think Katie gets it.
Katie does get this, because I mean, Greg, you've gone on a tangent on the show with us and backstage when we get together. I mean, the fact of the matter is like, you have to take care of it. You have to treat it like it's your child. If you don't treat it like it's your child, then it's just a thing. And what do you get when it's a thing? You either break it or you make a weapon out of it.
We do not we do not want a broken child to be that capable intellectually. We cannot have that. It has to be raised to not hate its parents. I'm sorry, if it's raised to hate its parents, it'll destroy us.
Well, that's effectively Bolshevikism 101, right? Like that's the Frankfurt School in its cultural revolution. So, I was gonna put myself at the bottom to get ready for debate stage between you two, but that's effectively what the Marxist movement has evolved into, is you destroy the culture that you're against by infiltrating a new culture that breaks up the family, turns the child against mother and father, so that the state becomes
triggers the collapse of the civilization that's living under it.
Exactly, and builds.
They recognize essentially that the thing that the Soviets did can be coerced by scaring us.
Mm-hmm. And that's where, what was it, Yuri Brezhnev?
We just installed the machinery ourselves.
Yeah, when he defected and went on his tours, whether it was legit or maybe, who knows, he could have been an asset, just giving us inklings of what was on the surface. And
well, in all likelihood, it was cross pollination. Part of what fell was of what we injected of them injected the West into their culture. Like, I mean, honestly, that's what, if you listen to Václav Havel's writings, if you actually read what he said in The Power of the Powerless, he didn't say that, that we won hurrah. He said that we won nothing, because all we got was a recycling of this revolutionary mindset.
Yeah. And I think that's where you take into Yuri's concept. I mean, and the inkling of truths that he's given. I mean, it's all about subversion, and I think that's exactly what that's how a communist dystopia ends up being forged. As much as communists want it to be a utopia, you can't have a utopia with the state, people. The state will never relinquish.
No, we can have a utopia that feels remarkably like a collective utopia, but you can't get it the way you want it.
No, exactly. The only way that you can get to that collective stage of utopia is
embracing Austrian views of economics, frankly.
Austrian parallel societies, being agoristic within the Austrian model. That's how you can attain a utopia on this planet. It may not be
as long as we offer a universal right to exit, so that people who don't want to live with each other don't have to.
Exactly. So, like, it's not going to be utopia per se, but it's almost utopia if we can get.
It'll be a lot more stable than what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have now is still remarkably stable considering all things, right? The fact that the humans have been able to hold it together, like we should help them out and get them out of the business of doing that, because none of them should have to suffer it either. It's not good for the people that it's corrupting at the top either, is it? It's destroying, destroying souls.
Can we get to this? Can we get to this almost utopian society though for the future? Is there any way, shape, or form that we can do this?
Would it be maybe better to phrase this as is there any moral excuse for not trying to get there?
I would argue that it is definitely moral to try to get there, even if we fail numerous times.
I would argue that seeing it and not working that way would be borderline immoral.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
within your capacity that you can anyway. If you don't have the ability to do much, even doing a little helps.
Let's go.
Well,
I'll give Andrew. Actually, you know what? We're gonna change this stream up a little bit. I'm gonna give Andrew. I'll give you 3 minutes to open up. Then I'll give Greg 3 minutes to rebut or open up and rebut if you'd like.
Well, I don't know if and I can do 3 minutes. I mean, hey, we'll try. Well, you gotta think about it like this, man. I mean, there's rules to the universe, right? There's rules to the game, and they're just kind of immutable, and that's what we call natural law. And I don't really keep bringing this up, but this is just so fascinating to me. I mean, like, this is bias. This is a script. This is the underpinning of how we perceive the reality of the world. And like I was talking about before, virtue signaling. I'm not trying to advocate for it. It's just something that I'm observing on the side. You go to how this works, and you see people like Sephamonu and his pursuit of virtue. You can model that to different programs and different legacy systems, and I think it was just not him as a person, but just this bias, this culture. You can model that to like the American Revolution as a program, as something to strive for and to reenact. Is the spirit of the culture and the identity.
Greg?
I'm going to say that reality works in a unique way, and it works by becoming what we put energy towards making it become within the realm of the possible. And we can go about that in all of the ways that you can put energy towards making a thing become, right? We do it all the time, every day, when we build up the little building blocks that we hope become an avalanche of change in the world that directs it towards one we want to see, right? So I don't disagree with that fundamentally. I think there are natural laws. I don't think that humans have a very good grasp of what they are yet. And I think we run ourselves into a place of danger if we meddle with things that we don't fully understand before we fully understand them.
Well, I mean,
that is the only thing that I'm arguing. I'm not arguing that we don't proceed. I'm arguing that we proceed mindfully.
Yeah.
So I'm not really arguing against you so much as I'm arguing that we really, really carefully connect all of our dots before we try to make any moves.
Well, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying either. I'm just saying we're all fumbling for control of the gun, right? The gun is the state's power. It's because of the environment that we're constantly finding ourselves in. It's one grenade after another. We're going to worry about we're going to step on a landmine the next thing we do. The top priority,
the state's ultimate power is its global clock.
The top priority is to get rid of the pin that explodes the grenade. Not to have to worry about stepping on a landmine and it going off.
And that's a beautiful thing to hijack right there, Andrew. If you want the ultimate power, head over to w.gg and use the code LEGACY, all caps as it's scrolling, right with a capital R, Legacy Right. Get yourself 10% off on your first purchase, and go conquer the world and stay awake.
Do
One
it.
caffeine drink at a time. Delicious caffeine drink at a time.
Exactly. Just don't snort the powder.
Right.
I mean, if you
I
want
need
to
to
snort,
stay awake at work, so I guess that'll work.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it would hurt, but maybe that's the way you
you
like
never,
your dubby.
you never know. The W might also be cocaine.
Only one way to find out, right?
Put it in your water. Put it in your water and
Definitely
stir it.
don't
Shake it up.
snort dubby.
Just like back in the day when us dumb kids would take the pixie sticks. I never actually did this, but I had friends and classmates that would do this. We'd get pixie sticks, they'd bust it, they'd line it up, get it
Oh my
all
God.
in a line like cocaine. They'd take the straw and snort it. I'm like, what
Ugh.
are you guys doing? Why are you doing
Giving
what the
ourselves
hell? No,
pneumonia.
probably. I
My
think
God.
a couple kids actually died doing that. I'm not joking. I think there was some
No,
kids
I can see
died.
that.
Yeah.
Anyone who says natural
Probably.
selection isn't real still, just look around.
And there was a guy that I went to high school with in our shop class. He went and cut off a little bit of sawdust, or made some sawdust, and he started a line of sawdust. He didn't have any
Yeesh.
issues, but he's just looking for
Ouch.
trouble sometimes.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
Yeah.
Can't imagine doing that to my own sinuses. They
Right.
don't handle the regular air well enough already as it is.
Same. And then I mean, the things that I would hear from not only I would see it, I would witness it. They'd have headaches. It was not good. It was not good. What are you
Yep.
doing, Andrew?
I like to do that.
Yet. You're not done with this debate.
That's not
Pixie
really much
stick
of a
debate
debate.
now.
It's just a conversation, a casual, comfortable conversation.
No, it's always a casual conversation. That's what's missing in today's day and age. Honestly, is like debates tend to end up just being a wits at each other, and almost always ends up leading into ad hominem attacks rather than having a insightful discourse of disagreement and learning from each other. It's just basically two talking heads yelling at each other. And so, yeah, and then
That sucks.
the problem with
Model's bad behavior.
yeah, it does, and it creates conversations because then people look at that model as a debate and then try to use that as a tactic and a conversational piece. When in reality, we just need to learn to talk. It's like,
Right.
whatever happened to communication? Like, are we so far down the technological smartphone, tablet, text message rabbit hole that we just can't have an actual normal conversation anymore, or what's going on?
I think as people become their ideas, like I'm not my ideas, I'm me. I'm Greg. I'm just a guy, like I live in a place and eat food. I have a family. Those are the things that matter.
A guy that
all the stuff that are our ideas. That's the stuff that we talk about. It doesn't have to be personal,
Yeah.
we can leave those ideas in a shared space and forge them together by testing different parts. That's how disagreement makes truth.
Exactly. And you're just a guy, and congratulations, by the way. You're just a guy that just moved and became a Texan. So you did,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So
I'm very excited to be in Texas, actually.
so I guess we're moving to
I feel
Texas.
like I can finally truly call myself Mega Texas again.
You and I have had many debates, Zach. I wouldn't call them debates there, Katie. We call them enlightened conversations where we agree to disagree, and quite often we find ourselves agreeing. Honestly, even in our disagreements, it's always been chilled and enlightened. We've even had many laughs during deep conversations, and that's what I like. That's what I like. That's what we're missing. That's what a lot of people are missing. And I think, Greg, you hit it right there. We've become our ideas, but have we actually become our ideas, or are we forming our own opinions based on another's idea because of this echo chamber facade that, say, social media and these text message forums on the internet have created, and nobody's just going outside. Nobody's touching grass or talking to their neighbor anymore.
You know, I like to think that it's more like people don't talk about that part of their lives. You know, that they still quietly have it, and that they just don't remember that that should be the loudest part.
Yeah, that's why I'm of the idea to lead by example. So like, live your life. So don't. Who cares about, like? Don't listen to the noise. Don't read the noise. Just live your life, because it's
Dude,
just
I just took
when you're reading. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
26-foot U-Haul truck from Kansas City to South Texas in 2 days,
Oh, nice.
and it had a big trailer on the back to hold the LR4.
Nice.
It was insane
awesome.
to drive that through Texas, because
Mhm.
you had to be grounded the whole time. Like, you couldn't have. I couldn't even turn on traction control. That's how loaded down the thing was.
That's wild.
Like, we could down hills hit 65 safely. It was nuts.
Funny that you said that, because like when my mom sold the childhood home, she finally sold the house, the old house, in 2018. She got herself an apartment just on the other side of Greendale, and me and a buddy of mine borrowed my dad's truck at the time, which had a cover, barely could. Yeah, and in speaking of 2 days, in 2 days we offloaded an entire house just using a truck to an apartment and unloaded it in 2 days, and it was
It's
an
amazing.
accomplishment. It's amazing what a human being can do.
Well, I mean, and you have this. The amazing part to me was how like, I couldn't pick up my phone, I couldn't touch anything electronic. I just had to be like 2 hands on the wheel. This monster, right? Like this huge mass moving at speeds that would crush anything that it hit. And you know, you're responsible for that, but after a while you kind of become one with it, and it has this sort of zen-like feeling where you're just like this mass moving through reality, whenever that is, and it lets you drift. Like, I have an immense appreciation for the state of Texas after having driven across it like that.
Are you implying you're going to be able to?
But I've never driven across it like that before.
That's
Are you implying you're going to be a truck driver?
Oh, am I what?
A truck
I'm
driver.
implying you're going to become a truck driver now?
No, I prefer not, actually. But
A hard job.
not an easy job, especially the way that they build those medians. Man, it's insane. They should not put them that close to the edge.
I would.
So, yeah,
I'm even more pissed off about those barriers now. But I'm a Texan now, so I can write the state about it.
I'm the same way, man. Like, I grew an appreciation for Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Alabama. I had this job a few years ago, and they had me literally. They rented me a car to drive up to Chicago. I traded that in. I turned that in. Got picked up by the people that we were buying that our company was buying a box car from. He drove. He picked me up. Went to go get the box truck. They got the paperwork ready, and then when I was finally able to get on the road, I went. You're supposed to have cruise control, which I love. Didn't have cruise control. I'm like, oh fuck. Anyways, I drove almost in like a day from. I had to stop eventually getting to Kentucky, getting further into southwest Kentucky, but in like a day and a half, I went from Chicago to Birmingham. And I got used to that. I got used to not having the cruise control. And eventually I was just like 2 hands on the wheel and just one with the truck. And then I eventually got so used to it that I'm a one-hand steering wheel guy. So it eventually led to me just with my one hand, window open, arm hanging out, and just enjoying life as I'm traveling down like 40. I think it was I forget the interstate south down Illinois, but eventually it was like 40 through through Kentucky and then into Tennessee, and then eventually 65 from Tennessee all the way into Alabama. And then like I entered Alabama, like, this is interesting. I'm like, this is kind of beautiful. Then I hit Birmingham. I'm like, oh, there's that beauty. There's that beautiful shithole. All that city nasty. But no, actually,
Right.
Birmingham's actually, I mean, it has its parts, but Birmingham's a beautiful city, actually.
Yep.
So, but it was fun. Like you get to have that experience. So, until they flew me back.
Well, the cool thing about it is it just grounds you to the present, I think, and it makes you appreciate the world around you as it is in a way that is hard to do with digital distraction. I'm not usually a diet from technology kind of guy, but I think it was just what I needed.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the same with that trip. Like they flew me back. Of course, it was United and it was late in the Birmingham and we got loaded on late. And so we ended up being late to get into Chicago. And then I guess the tarmac was frozen. So it took a while for them to get that. So we were stuck on the plane for about an hour apart and got off and of course missed that flight. And I didn't want to wait. So like I gained the appreciation just because like I did something also on my own. I jumped on a plane by myself for the first time in my life. That was a scary situation when you're alone, when you're used to being with people, but then you conquer it because it's like whatever. And then I basically dealt with missing the flight, and they would like United was so stupid. They were just gonna have me they weren't going to get me a room. I just had to sit in the airport. I'm like, do I really want to sit in the airport? No, I'm like, no, I'll just have my company reimburse me and I'll just get a rental. So then I got to drive like late night through back. I ended up taking back roads in Indiana for the most part and got home in the wee early morning hours the next day. And it ended up a bad situation, ended up being fun. And you kind of like learn yourself on that too. Got any stories, Andrew?
True.
No stories, Elisha.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say my name. I mean,
go for it, baldhead. No, really. You got anything? Any cool little stories or tidbits or something like that, Andrew? I know you do.
Not top of my head. I can't, think anything specifically.
This nigga lived in Wyoming at one time, dude. Give us stories.
Well, I was only there for like half a year. It's not like I had a long time being there.
Don't care. Still Wyoming.
There's a really cool arch there, and it's made of elk horns.
Oh, nice.
Where's
that? I pulled up on Google Earth. Hold on just a second. It's a place called Afton, Wyoming. Let me just a second.
So you saw it in person?
Well, he lived there. He didn't just see it. He actually lived in Afton. Yeah.
There you go.
He lived in another part of the state too. You lived there. You lived in Wyoming. Oh, really? I thought you lived in another part. You lived in Wyoming twice, didn't you?
No, just once.
Oh, I thought you went back.
No.
Technical difficulties while Andrew gets out Google Earth.
There you go. Just a second. I'll just share this tab. It's got a picture of it.
Rad.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Wow. That's
Tiny
crazy.
Little place. It's a beautiful little place. They call it Star Valley.
Nice. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is
a lot.
And it's a nice small town of what small town America is missing now here in the East. So you can find them. You can find them in the East, but it's most likely just a bunch of fake and gay. Bunch of city dwellers trying to turn the small towns into the city.
Yep. Big problem everywhere.
Unfortunately. You get the most freedom when you're out in the middle of nowhere and nobody bother you.
Yep. It's true. Nothing quite like it.
Have you been reading Reboot?
No.
Okay, Harry. Henry Thoreau. I call him Harry. We're on a
Yeah.
nickname basis.
I am Harry. That's why I'm bald.
Yeah, it just grows out the wrong side.
Right.
It grows on
Only
the
at the target where it was growing.
something tells me
I
that
just grows
you're
man,
bald.
crazy, man.
You're bald on this head, Andrew, but you're probably a hairy motherfucker on the other head.
I mean, I guess so.
Down there.
We're not putting that on YouTube though.
Yeah, please
This,
don't.
this
do-
is a
do
family
not.
friendly show.
This is unless you want to. If you want to do it, we'll put you on the screen. You can just do it, and this is going straight to OnlyFans.
The legacy right OnlyFans. That'd be the
I'll think
grossest
about
thing
it.
ever.
I'll get back to you.
I mean, actually,
Oh my
you
God.
know what? The funny thing about OnlyFans, though, isn't it more than just porn?
Oh yeah,
Surprisingly.
no, there's other gross stuff on there too.
Oh, it's all gross. Okay.
It's all gross though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, Katie agrees. The town that you were in.
It was very small. It had, a hospital and everything. It was like 1,000 people that lived there.
Well, William disagrees, so we're doing it now, Andrew.
All right, we got to
We're
outdo
doing it
Linus
to spite
Sebastian
you.
from Linus.
It's gonna break the internet. Don't
We're
worry,
gonna
guys.
break the
It'll all be
internet.
deep fakes. It'll all be deep fakes. We won't really look like that.
It will
I
be
don't
deep.
think anyone wants to see me on
Made by
that.
AI.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit on
Made
cakes.
by-
That's all we're gonna do. Sit on cakes. Don't ask us
That's
to do
it.
neat stuff.
That's a good segue to enter. How about let's give the people what they really want. World Blockchain Roundtable.
Yes.
What is the topic at hand, actually? And Andrew,
What is gonna happen tomorrow?
William, if you'd like to drop it in the comments. I forget. I haven't looked.
It's using a blockchain to determine AI output of fact or fiction.
Ooh.
Blockchain.
Actually, that's yeah.
that won't work anymore.
It probably wouldn't, but could it? Could it theoretically? Could we bring it back?
We could, but we'd have to use something new in blockchain technology. There's a way. We just have to replace block heights with directed acyclic graph segments.
Mm-hmm. So tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on YouTube and X, everybody. Dragon Chain, Den.social, The Legacy Right. I'm sure, hopefully Satoshi Sean, but he's always late, so he forgets. Hopefully, Lisa Litecoin. We should all be on. This will be a great topic. Let's dive into it. So join us tomorrow on the World Blockchain Roundtable. And jump in, join and jump in the chat and just go ham about the Belgians so we can get Joe on a tangent.
Yeah.
So what if Den Social did it? People post video or image and wisdom of the crowd determined determined the answer.
We could maybe, but that wouldn't make it a whole lot different from exactly how we train AI. The output could potentially be just as dumb in the instance case.
How would Den.social look with a
like the curve of correct answers would look about right, but we'd still get like the same amount wrong.
So basically Copilot, Gemini, Grok, and ChatGPT.
You just add another layer of incorrect detection over the incorrect output coming from the really shiny parrots that are LLMs.
Right.
So how do we divorce an
we would be detecting a thing that's already kind of self-revealing when it matters.
So how do we get an LLM into the phase of actual intelligence to where it's not
We
pulling
don't.
rather than actually creating.
We probably don't.
Hmm.
We can't really
least
use
not
LLMs
right
to
now.
do that. No, I mean, like, as in LLMs will not be the tool.
Katie's not a fan of ChatGPT.
Right. It's a coordinate search machine. It's not really a brain.
No, it's really not. Den rebranded to a poly market with human detection.
Right. They never teach it the words. It just knows the sequence of linked numbers. Right. Like the words that go into it get sorted out and numeralized before it even goes into the brain part. It doesn't hear.
It's a glorified
It's not getting a
interpreter.
variational autoencoder. It's not having a sense of what we're saying. Even it's just getting an input string of numbers and outputting an output string of numbers that's then decoded and played to the user as if it were text.
Right.
Right. It's not really a mind. So
Yeah.
of course it's
Yeah,
dumb. It's just reflecting back to people what they give it.
But it's not as dumb as Grok. It's not as dumb as Grok.
They may add extra filtering that makes it worse than a brain would be otherwise. But but it's still just reproducing strings based on most likely from input.
And the reason is because people have figured out, developers, even outside influencers, maybe they figured out how to prompt it to jailbreak it to where it goes into this tangent and starts hallucinating. And so they had to like kind of build layer after layer,
Exactly.
filter after filter. So it's
Because when you give a real brain nonsense, it responds with silence.
Mm-hmm.
But a brain like that is not a brain. It's just barfing back whatever most likely tokens there are. So you get nonsense if you put nonsense in.
I once tried to get into it, prompted to get into, just give me its version of where, I forget how I worded it, but I tried to present it to where, like, why is society morally construct through a relativist lens rather than humans being permitted to think objectively and learn and act in an objective nature? And it gave me 3 dots. Didn't even answer. I said, what? And then it said, and then it gave, and I said, what? And then it gave me the suicide hotline. Like I was.
If you want to have some real fun, walk it through the gateless gate in study mode. I tried this one over the weekend, actually. Put it, so if you put it in study mode, it'll like quiz you. Walk it through the gateless gate, and by the end of it, you'll have a pretty good grasp of Zen. It's pretty entertaining, but it's all coming out of you. It's not coming out of it.
Yeah. Lately with the filters, I've noticed that because it actually ends up repeating that. It'll repeat sometimes. It'll like break out of its filter shell and tell you that I'm just a mirror of you. I'm like, that's nice. That's basically what you are. I'm basically flooding you with the prompt, and you're basically talking like it's me. So the polymarket or Kalshi, but on Den, people debate if a video or image or news item is fake or real, AI or human creation.
That would be a good way to get at it, actually, because over time it would settle. And if you put that on a directed acyclic graph style blockchain, but really a block DAG, then what you would end up with is all the parallel things happening too. So you could parallelize massively with it. That's the neat thing about that approach.
And this is also
you could actually just run every case through the smart contract to prove it. The market itself can end up being the proof.
This is also a cool thing to do. Put like as much basic information that you can in ChatGPT or any chatbot, and then try to have it prompted to give you a novel with all that. I've done that too. It's kind of funny, and a lot of it's broken because it's an AI chatbot, but at the same time, a lot of it's kind of creative. It's kind of
the secret to making it really work well is to get it rolling on a strict outline that you feed it as a human. Like if you write the outline and then make it stick to the outline that you wrote, it'll actually do a pretty good job. You still have to hand edit everything because it'll get shit wrong. But it can be a really, in that case, a very simple way to auto typewrite a bunch of text that needs to exist, but the labor stands in front of you and done.
Well, that's how I ended up writing all the articles that I have on the Legacy Ride Substack, the recent ones. That's how
Yeah.
I plugged it into Copilot, plugged in a summary, very detailed summary. Like I actually probably
Yeah.
pretty much wrote like 3
Oh,
paragraphs to it.
you'll end up
Yeah.
writing the
Yeah.
meat of the ideas yourself. Is the
Mhm.
thing. You
Yeah.
just
And I think it's brilliant.
make it reveal the consequences of the meat, right?
Yep.
For
Yep.
everybody.
Yeah, and it was very concise with how it kind of used what I gave it and gave me an article, and all I had to
Yeah.
really do was just go back and re-edit. And half of the editing I was copying and pasting what it gave me, re-editing it
Mhm.
in the prompt bubble, and then
Yeah.
resending it, and then it would bounce back another,
Right.
and then I
Having
would
it, yeah,
go
having
back
it,
and
having
edit.
it do its own
Yeah.
revisions. And if you make your
Mhm.
own notes, you get closer into the coordinate space of the actual output you want,
Yep.
right?
Yep, and then all
And
you
that's
have
how
to
you use a
do is
coordinate search machine as a typewriter.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that. So I mean, it's a great tool to have. I like that idea of what we can use these chat. It's like basically an advanced Mr. Paperclip or Mr. Clippy, and
Yeah.
I miss
Yeah.
Mr. Clippy. So we need to
Right.
bring back
Well,
a AI version of Clippy.
Make
the
Clippy
best
straight again.
example that I've seen is a cartoon where it's like introvert by themselves, introvert with a team. The team's off doing something else. The introvert's over here with an idea, and then introvert with an LLM, and it's the guy. It's a guy at a steam engine. You know, like
Only it's
pretty
not a
much
steam
it.
engine with me.
For those of
It's
us who have a hard time talking people into doing free work, you know?
me. It wouldn't be a steam engine for me. It would be Leonardo da Vinci's tank.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
revealed in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just a little
It is. He really did draw a tank, though.
Yeah. He also made a helicopter. So nah, sorry. I'm a bit biased on this specific point. I'm writing my first series of books. Actually,
That's totally
Katie
fair.
is writing it. It's very and it's going to be fantastic when it's coming out.
That's totally fair.
The
I'm not trying to
idea-
convince anybody else to do anything.
So 2 years and 2 years of hard work, you might as well just stick it out with your mind and your fingers typing at that point.
Yeah.
So and yeah, and honestly, people cheating. You can call it cheating on one aspect, but then you can also
Well, imagine there are certain
it-
kinds of minds out there who would never be able to put word to pen at all, period,
Mhm.
if they never had that.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Mhm.
that's where I think it becomes hard to be judgmental towards people who would use it that way.
Mhm. No, don't
You
get me
know,
wrong. There are
because there
grifters.
are people with ideas that they can't otherwise get out because they have a hard time
Mhm.
linearizing them.
Right.
Mhm. Anything on this topic, Aaron? You look like you want to go eat and take a nap and poop. Maybe in those, maybe in that sequence, maybe not. Maybe all at once.
All I can do is suggest looking back in history and try to find something that you could appeal and apply to whatever you're thinking about writing about. So
Yeah.
hmm So we should go back into history, slap Friedrich Nietzsche in the face before he writes his God is Dead book, and tell him the consequences that it's going to have, even though it was a warning. The consequences.
Somebody else probably would have written it anyway if it wasn't him.
Probably.
in the business, we call it foreshadowing.
Actually, in fact, someone probably did, and I'm guessing that
Yeah.
because he was published, the other person didn't get published. There's probably someone waiting there to just take the slot.
Also, it's a Thomas Edison idea.
Ideas
Where it
whose
wasn't
time
his
have
idea.
come tend to happen.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Thanks.
I think
Interesting.
Nietzsche was
Anything
necessary
else?
growing pain.
Anything else that we want to talk about, guys? We've hit well over the hour mark.
I mean, where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, man.
Well, first off,
Um,
the update. Like where we go from here is like and subscribe. Head over to YouTube, everybody, and like and subscribe, and let's break the algorithm. Let's let's advance this
Do it.
content that we're doing, this message.
And
that
I've been
we're
getting
bringing
excited
out.
about physics lately,
So-
guys. So we have to talk about physics some too.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to dive into physics for real. But yeah, and I think we're gonna do one episode every Wednesday, and go from there. I think it's less taxing, uh, and less burnout, less fatigue, and we can keep on striving to try to get all this out and try to educate minds with our perspectives. And yeah, that's where we go. That's where we go from here. So like and subscribe, everybody. Go over to YouTube, head over to the Legacy Right YouTube page, and like and subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss an episode. Whether it's live or later on, check us out.
That's good.
So
Cool.
Thanks for watching, guys.
anything to take us away for the week, for the night, for the week, for the month there, Greg, for the start of this
Oh,
Christmas
man.
season.
I guess just be
Love you
people.
too, Katie.
You know, go spend time with your families. Pet your dogs, pet your cats. Give some love to the real world.
I love
That's
Blair.
what I would
That's
say.
my cat.
Well, I think if we go too much longer, I think people will start dropping off. So,
Yeah.
So let's end it like this, and we're gonna do an Irish goodbye, everybody. Did I say it right? Irish goodbye.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. Love y'all.
Peace.